Introduction. Why your mind feels so heavy, and what the samurai knew that we forgot. Right now, as you read these words, stop for just a second and notice what's happening inside your head. How many thoughts are running through your mind at this exact moment? Maybe you're worried about something you have to do tomorrow. Maybe you're replaying a conversation from yesterday, wishing you had said something different. Maybe you're thinking about 5 different problems at once, and none of them have clear solutions. Maybe you're scrolling through your phone while reading this, your attention split in 10 directions. Your mind never fully present anywhere. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is what life feels like for most people today. Our minds are crowded, noisy, heavy. We carry yesterday's regrets, today's stress, and tomorrow's worries all at the same time. And we wonder why we feel so tired, so anxious, so overwhelmed. We're told the solution is simple. Just think positive, or stop overthinking, or clear your mind. So we try. We really try. We try to force ourselves to stop thinking negative thoughts. We tell ourselves to be happy, to be grateful, to focus on the good. And when that doesn't work, when the heavy thoughts come back 5 minutes later, we feel like we've failed. We feel even worse than before. Or we try the opposite approach. We try to empty our minds completely. We download meditation apps. We sit there trying desperately not to think about anything. And what happens? Our mind gets louder. The thoughts multiply. We can't stop thinking about the fact that we're supposed to stop thinking. Both of these approaches sound good in theory, but in practice, they don't work. They create more pressure, more guilt, more exhaustion. They make us feel like something is wrong with us because we can't control our own minds. But here's what most people don't know. Hundreds of years ago, in ancient Japan, the samurai discovered a completely different way of dealing with the mind. These were warriors who faced death regularly. They lived in a world of constant danger, uncertainty, and pressure. If anyone needed to master their mind, it was them. And what they discovered was this: you don't clean your mind by force. You don't clean it by trying to be positive all the time. You don't clean it by emptying it completely. Instead, you clean your mind the same way you clean a room. Think about your bedroom for a moment. Does it stay clean by accident? Does dust refuse to settle because you really want it to stay clean? Does clutter disappear on its own because you think positive thoughts about organization? Of course not. A room stays clean through gentle, regular care. You dust a little. You organize a little. You remove what doesn't belong. You do this not once, but over and over, day after day. Not with stress or pressure, but with simple, quiet attention. The samurai understood that the mind works exactly the same way. Your mind doesn't stay clean by accident. Negative thoughts will come, just like dust settles on furniture. Heavy emotions will arrive, just like clutter accumulates in corners. This is not a problem. This is not a sign that you're broken. This is simply how minds work. The question is not, how do I stop thoughts from coming? The question is, how do I create a daily practice that gently clears the mental space, so I can think clearly and feel peaceful? This is what this book is about. The ancient Japanese way of cleaning the mind. Not through force. Not through perfection. Not through some complicated spiritual practice that requires years of training, but through simple, practical habits that anyone can do. Habits that take just a few minutes a day. Habits that don't require you to change who you are or believe in anything new. These are rituals that create space. And in that space, peace appears naturally. Today, I'm going to share 10 of these practices with you. Each chapter will teach you one simple habit. And with each habit, you'll learn something important. Peace doesn't come from thinking less. Peace comes from creating more space between your thoughts. Space where you can breathe. Space where you can see clearly. Space where the noise settles and truth emerges. The samurai practiced these habits every single day. Not because they were trying to be perfect, but because they knew that clarity of mind was the difference between life and death, between wisdom and foolishness, between peace and chaos. And while most of us today aren't fighting with swords, we are fighting with something just as challenging. Our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own mental noise. These ancient practices can help. They've helped people for over 400 years. and they can help you too. So let's begin. Let's learn the Japanese way of cleaning the mind. Not through force, but through gentle daily care. Not through pressure, but through simple rituals that honor the fact that you are human, that thoughts will come, that emotions will rise, and that you deserve a mind that feels spacious, clear, and peaceful. Let me show you how. Chapter 1. The Sky That Never Gets Dirty. The simple explanation. You are not your thoughts. Before we dive into the story, let me explain something simple but powerful. Most people believe they are their thoughts. When a negative thought appears, they think, I am negative. When a worried thought appears, they think, I am an anxious person. When an angry thought appears, they think, I am angry. But this is not true. You are not your thoughts. You are the space where thoughts appear. Think of it this way. Clouds appear in the sky. Sometimes the clouds are white and fluffy. Sometimes they're dark and stormy. Sometimes they cover the entire sky, and you can't see the blue at all. But does the sky become dirty because of the clouds? Does the sky change its nature because a storm passes through? No. The sky remains the sky. Clean, vast, unchanging. The clouds come and go, but the sky is always there, always clear behind them. Your mind works the same way. Negative thoughts are like dark clouds. They appear. They feel heavy. They might block your view completely. But they don't change who you are. They don't make your mind dirty. They're just passing through. The problem is, most of us identify with the clouds instead of the sky. We think we are the negative thought. We think we are the anxiety. We think we are the anger. But you're not. You're the sky. You're the vast, open awareness that watches the thoughts come and go. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop fighting your thoughts. You stop judging yourself for having them. Instead, you simply watch them pass, knowing they're temporary, knowing you are something much bigger and clearer than any thought that appears. This is the first secret of mental cleansing. Not controlling your thoughts, but remembering who you are, the sky, not the clouds. Now let me tell you the story of the man who taught this truth. The story, Takuan and the Question. Over 400 years ago, in the mountains of Japan, there lived a samurai monk named Takuan Soho. He was famous for his wisdom and his calm mind. One day, a young samurai came to him with a desperate question. Master, the young man said, his voice tight with frustration. Every day, I am attacked by negative thoughts. Anger comes. Worry comes. Fear comes. I try to push them away, but they keep returning. What am I doing wrong? Takuan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he pointed to the window. Do you see that cloud? He asked. The young samurai looked up. A dark cloud was moving slowly across the blue sky. Yes, master. Is the sky dirty because the cloud is there? The young man thought for a moment. No. The sky is still clean. The cloud is just passing through. Takuan smiled. Exactly. The mind must be wide and open like the sky. A cloud may pass through, but the sky remains clean. The young samurai felt something shift inside him. He had been fighting the clouds, trying to make them disappear. But Takuan was teaching him something different. He was not the cloud. He was the sky. From that day forward, when negative thoughts appeared, the young samurai would remember, I am the sky. This thought is just a cloud passing through. And slowly, his peace returned. The practice, morning sweeping ritual. Takuan didn't just teach with words. He lived what he taught. Every morning, before sunrise, he would sweep the temple steps. Not just to clean them, but to clean his mind. As he moved the broom slowly across the stone, he imagined sweeping away worries, doubts, and anger. Each stroke was intentional. Each movement was a meditation. You can do something similar. Each morning, choose one simple cleaning action. Option 1. Wipe your desk clean before starting your day. As you wipe, imagine wiping away yesterday's thoughts. Option 2. Sweep one small area of your floor. As you sweep, imagine sweeping away mental clutter. Option 3. Wash one dish by hand slowly. As you wash, imagine washing away thoughts that don't serve you. Do this for just 2 to 3 minutes. The action itself isn't magic, but the intention is. You're telling your mind, we're starting fresh. We're making space. And as you do this, remember, you are the sky. The negative thoughts are just clouds. They will pass. You remain clean. Chapter 2. Stop stirring the mud. The simple explanation. Stillness clears the mind. Imagine you have a glass of water with dirt in it. The water looks muddy and cloudy. What do? Most people's first instinct is to stir it. They think if they mix it enough, maybe the dirt will somehow disappear. So they stir and stir. But what happens? The water gets even muddier. The dirt that was settling gets stirred up again. The solution is simple. Stop stirring. Let the glass sit still. And slowly, naturally, the dirt settles to the bottom. The water clears all by itself. Your mind works exactly the same way. When your thoughts are racing, when everything feels chaotic, your first instinct is to do something. To think harder. To analyze more. To try to figure everything out. But this just stirs the mental mud. The more you think about your problems, the more confused you become. The solution? Give your mind something simple to focus on. Something that doesn't require analysis. Something gentle that allows the mental mud to settle naturally. This is what the next story teaches. The story, The Samurai and the Wooden Ladle. In the 1700s, there lived a samurai named Nobimasa. He was brilliant and talented, but inside, his mind was racing. Every night, he would lie awake, thoughts spinning endlessly about decisions, enemies, and the future. He tried everything to calm his mind. Tea, meditation, reading. Nothing worked. The more he tried to control his thoughts, the louder they became. One night, an old monk named Hakuin visited him. The monk watched Nobimasa for a moment, then reached into his bag and pulled out a wooden ladle and a small basin. "Your mind is muddy," Hakuin said, "because you stir it too often. Try this." He filled the basin with water and handed Nobimasa the ladle. "Every morning, sit with this. Scoop the water. Pour it back. Just listen to the sound. Just watch the water move. That's all." Nobimasa felt confused. How could something so simple help? But he was desperate. So the next morning, before sunrise, he sat with the basin and ladle. He scooped the water and poured it back. Scoop. Pour. Splash. Ripples. At first, his mind still raced. But he kept pouring. Day after day. Slowly, something changed. The sound of the water became clearer. His racing thoughts began to slow down. Not because he forced them to stop, but because he was creating space. He was learning to stop stirring the mud. Within weeks, Nobimasa's clarity returned. He became known for his calm under pressure. That small ritual with water had saved him from his own mind. The practice, the water ritual. You can do this same practice today. Simple version. Get a cup and a bowl. Fill the bowl with water. Sit quietly. Scoop water with the cup. Pour it back into the bowl. Listen to the sound. Watch the ripples. Do this for 5 to 10 minutes. Even simpler. Go to your sink. Turn on water to a gentle flow. Cup your hands under the water. Feel the temperature. Listen to the sound. Focus only on the sensation. Do this for 3 to 5 minutes. When your mind wanders to your worries, and it will, gently bring your attention back to the water. You're not trying to think less. You're creating space between your thoughts. And in that space, the mud settles. The water clears. Chapter 3. The Power of the Pause. The simple explanation. One breath creates space. Most people go through life reacting. Something happens, they react immediately. Someone says something, they respond instantly. They feel an emotion, they act on it right away. But there's a problem with this. When you react immediately, you're reacting from chaos, from emotion, from the noise in your mind. The samurai discovered something powerful. The space between feeling and action is where wisdom lives. One breath, one pause, one moment of stillness before you respond. This tiny space changes everything. Not because the problem disappears, but because you return to yourself. You stop reacting from the noise and start responding from clarity. Think of it like this. When someone pushes you, your body wants to push back immediately. But if you pause for just 1 second, you might realize pushing back isn't the best choice. You might see a better way. Your mind works the same way. When something triggers you, your mind wants to react immediately. But if you pause for just one breath, clarity appears. This is not about being slow. This is about being wise. The story, Yagyu and the True Interval. In the 1600s, there was a legendary samurai named Yagyu Munenori. He was the sword instructor to the shogun himself, one of the greatest fighters who ever lived. But Munenori's greatest skill wasn't his speed or strength. It was his ability to pause. He called it Makoto no Ma, the true interval. Even in the middle of battle, even when someone was attacking him, Munenori would pause. Just for one breath, one blink, one moment. That tiny pause gave him a chance to see clearly, to respond wisely instead of reacting blindly. One day, a young student asked him, "Master, how can you pause in the middle of a fight? Don't you need to react instantly?" Munenori smiled. "Most people react from fear, from anger, from chaos. But I respond from clarity. One breath is all I need to find my center again." He taught his students to practice this not just in fighting, but in life. When someone insults you, take one breath before you respond. When you feel angry, take one breath before you speak. When you're afraid of a decision, take one breath before you choose. That tiny interval became their power. The practice, the one breath pause. Starting today, practice the one breath pause. Before you answer a text, take one full breath. Before you respond to someone who upset you, take one full breath. Before you click on something that makes you anxious, take one full breath. Before you walk into a difficult conversation, take one full breath. One breath is simple. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 3 seconds. Breathe out slowly through your mouth for 3 seconds. Then respond. This takes 6 seconds. But those 6 seconds clean the dust off your thoughts. They clear the fog from your mind. You're not avoiding the situation. You're creating space. And in that space, wisdom appears. One breath is the difference between reaction and response, between chaos and clarity. Practice this today, and you'll see. Peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from pausing before you respond to anything. Chapter 4, Clear Space, Clear Mind. The simple explanation. Your environment shapes your thoughts. Here's something most people don't realize. Your outer world and your inner world are connected. When your space is messy, your mind feels messy. When your desk is covered with clutter, your thoughts feel cluttered. When your room is chaotic, your emotions feel chaotic. This isn't just a feeling. Your brain actually processes your environment constantly. Every item in your view, every piece of mess, everything out of place sends a tiny signal to your brain. And when there are hundreds of these signals, your mind feels overwhelmed without even knowing why. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a clean, organized room and felt instantly calmer? Or walked into a messy room and felt instantly stressed? That's not a coincidence. That's your mind responding to your environment. The samurai understood this deeply. They had a word for it. Siketsu. It means cleanliness not just of the body, but of the spirit. They believed that when you clear your physical space, you clear your mental space. When you remove what you don't need around you, you remove what you don't need in your mind. So they kept their spaces intentional, simple, clean. Every item had a purpose. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. And from that outer clarity came inner clarity. The story, the samurai's simple room. There's a story about a young warrior who visited a famous samurai's home. He expected to see weapons displayed on the walls, expensive decorations, signs of wealth and status. Instead, he found almost nothing. The room was nearly empty. A simple mat on the floor. One scroll on the wall. The samurai's sword resting in its stand. A small table. Nothing else. "Master," the young warrior asked, "why is your room so empty? You have achieved so much. Why not display it?" The older samurai smiled. "Every item in this room has purpose. The mat I use to rest. The scroll I use to reflect. The sword I use to practice. The table I use to eat. What else do I need? But don't you want more? More things means more to think about. More to clean. More to protect. More to worry about losing. I choose to keep my space simple so my mind can stay simple. The young warrior looked around the room again. This time, he felt something different. Not emptiness, but peace. The room wasn't empty. It was spacious, clear, intentional. When your space is cluttered, the older samurai continued, your mind becomes cluttered. When your space is clear, your mind becomes clear. This is Siketsu, cleanliness of spirit through cleanliness of space. The young warrior never forgot that lesson. The practice, the 5-minute clear. You don't need to empty your entire room. You just need to start small. Here's what to do. Choose one small area. Just one. Maybe your desk. Maybe your nightstand. Maybe one drawer. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Remove everything from that area. Put it all to the side. Look at each item and ask, do I actually use this? Does this serve a purpose? Or is it just taking up space? Keep only what matters. Put those items back neatly. Let go of the rest. Do this once a day. Different area each day. That's it. 5 minutes. One small area. Every day. Don't try to organize your entire life in one weekend. The samurai approach is gentle. A little bit every day. And here's what happens. When you remove physical clutter, you start removing mental clutter too. That broken pen you've been keeping, it represents a habit that doesn't work anymore. Those old papers you keep meaning to sort, they represent decisions you've been avoiding. That stuff you don't need, but keep anyway, it represents thoughts you're holding onto for no reason. Clean the space. Clear the mind. After just 1 week of this practice, you'll notice something. Your mind feels lighter. Your thoughts become clearer. You can focus better. Because clarity outside creates clarity inside. This is Siketsu. This is the samurai way. Chapter 5. Let thoughts flow like ink. The simple explanation. Release instead of hold. Most people carry thoughts in their mind all day long. They turn them over and over, trying to understand them, trying to solve them, trying to make them go away. But the thoughts just get heavier. Like carrying rocks in your pockets. The more you carry, the heavier you feel. The samurai discovered something simple. Some thoughts don't need to be solved. They just need to be released. Imagine you're holding a ball. As long as you grip it tightly, you have to use energy. Your hand gets tired. But if you simply let it go, you're free. The ball doesn't disappear, but you're no longer carrying it. Your thoughts work the same way. When you take a thought from your mind and put it somewhere else, on paper for example, you're not solving it. You're releasing it. You're taking it out of your head and putting it outside of you. Now you can see it. You can acknowledge it. And then you can move forward without carrying it. This is not a diary where you write pages about your feelings. This is simpler. One thought. One release. Done. Like a brushstroke of ink on paper. Once it's there, it's there. You don't need to hold it anymore. The story. The ink painting master. The samurai practiced an art called sumie, ink painting. In this art, once your brush touches the paper, you cannot erase. One stroke. One chance. There was a master painter who taught this to warriors. One day, a stressed samurai came to him. Master, my mind is full of worried thoughts. How do I empty it? The master handed him a brush and paper. Paint one stroke. Whatever comes to mind, paint it. But you cannot erase it or change it. The samurai hesitated. What if it's not perfect? It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be honest. One stroke. One thought released. The samurai dipped the brush in ink and made one stroke across the paper. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't beautiful. But it was real. Good, the master said. The thought that was in your mind is now on paper. You don't have to carry it anymore. The samurai understood. From that day, every morning he would write one thought on paper. Not to analyze it. Not to fix it. Just to release it. And slowly, his mind felt lighter. The practice. One thought journaling. Get a simple notebook. Every morning, write one thought. Just one. It could be, I'm worried about today. I feel tired. I don't know what to do. Write it down. Then close the notebook. Write it down. Then close the notebook. Don't analyze it. Don't try to solve it. Don't judge yourself. Just release it like ink on paper. This takes 30 seconds. but it removes weight you've been carrying. Some days your thought will be light. Some days it will be heavy. Both are okay. Both are real. Both are released. Over time, this practice teaches your mind. It's okay to have heavy thoughts. You don't need to hold onto everything. You can let it flow through you. One thought, one stroke, released. Chapter 6, The Sacred Silence. The simple explanation. Silence reveals truth. In our modern world, silence is rare. We fill every moment with noise. Music, podcasts, TV, conversations, notifications. We're afraid of silence because we think it's empty. But the samurai believed the opposite. They believed silence wasn't empty. Silence was full. Full of truth, full of clarity, full of peace. Think of silence like a clean mirror. When the mirror is covered with dust and dirt, you can't see your reflection clearly. But when you clean it, when you remove everything, you can finally see clearly. Your mind is the same. When it's covered with constant noise and input, you can't see your thoughts clearly. But when you create silence, when you remove all the noise, truth appears. The samurai practiced Chinmaku, the art of silent reflection. Not once in a while, but every single day. They would sit in silence and simply watch their thoughts. Not controlling them, not judging them, just noticing them like watching clouds pass by. And in that silence, they found peace. The story, the evening practice. There was a samurai who faced many challenges. Difficult decisions, dangerous enemies, constant pressure. But every evening, no matter what happened during the day, he had one practice he never skipped. After the day was done, he would go to his room, sit on his mat, and do nothing. No reading, no music, no conversation, just sitting in silence. His students found this strange. "Master, why do you waste time sitting and doing nothing?" He smiled. "I'm not doing nothing. I'm letting my mind settle. All day, thoughts pile up like dust on furniture. This silence is how I clean that dust away." "But how?" "You're just sitting there. I'm watching my thoughts. When worry appears, I notice it. When anger appears, I notice it. I don't fight them. I don't judge them. I just see them clearly. And when I see them clearly, they lose their power over me." His students tried this practice. At first, they felt restless, uncomfortable. But they kept doing it. And slowly, they understood. The silence wasn't empty. It was where they met themselves. It was where they found truth. The practice, 5 minutes of silence. Before bed each night, sit in silence for 5 minutes. Turn off your phone. Turn off music. Turn off TV. Sit comfortably. You don't need a special position. Do nothing. Just sit. Just breathe. Notice your thoughts. When a thought appears, acknowledge it. There's worry or there's anger. Let it pass. Don't push it away. Don't hold on to it. Just watch it like a cloud passing by. 5 minutes. That's all. Some nights your mind will be quiet. Some nights it will be loud. Both are okay. You're not trying to force quietness. You're practicing watching without reacting. And slowly you'll realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching the thoughts. This understanding brings peace. This is Chinmaku. This is Sacred Silence. Chapter 7. Weekly Deep Cleaning. The simple explanation. Regular care prevents overwhelming mess. Think about your house. If you never clean it, what happens? Dust builds up. Clutter accumulates. Small messes become big messes. Eventually, it feels overwhelming. But if you clean a little bit every week, it never gets overwhelming. You stay ahead of the mess. Your mind works the same way. If you never clear your mental space, thoughts pile up. Worries accumulate. Small concerns become big problems. Eventually, your mind feels overwhelmed. But if you do a deeper cleaning once a week, you stay ahead of the mental mess. The Japanese call this Osoji, the big cleaning. Most people do it once a year. But the samurai did it every week. They would clean their tools, sharpen their blades, organize their space. Not because things were dirty, but to maintain clarity. When they cleaned their sword, they were also cleaning their mind. Every stroke of the cloth was a meditation. Every moment of care was a mental reset. You can do the same thing. The story, Sunday as Sacred. There was a samurai who made Sunday his sacred day, not for rest, though he rested, but for renewal. Every Sunday, he would wake early and spend 2 hours on Osoji. He would clean his sword carefully, removing every speck of dust. He would organize his armor. He would arrange his small room, making sure everything had its place. A visitor once asked him, "Why do you spend so much time cleaning things that are already clean?" The samurai smiled. "I'm not just cleaning my sword. I'm preparing my mind. When I care for my tools, I'm practicing care itself. When I organize my space, I'm organizing my thoughts. By Sunday evening, I feel renewed, ready for the week ahead." But isn't this tedious? Only if you see it as a chore. I see it as meditation, as prayer, as a way of honoring myself and my life. The visitor tried this practice himself. Every Sunday, he would clean 3 things with full attention: his desk, his tools, his space. And he discovered what the samurai knew. This wasn't just cleaning. It was preparation, mental preparation. The practice, Sacred Sunday. Choose 1 day each week for your Osoji. Make it sacred. Pick 3 things you use regularly. Your desk or workspace. Your bag or briefcase. Your car or bicycle. Clean them with full attention. No music or podcasts. No phone distractions. Just you and the act of cleaning. Make it intentional. Remove everything. Clean the surface. Put back only what you need. Let go of the rest. This isn't about perfection. It's about care. You're caring for your tools. You're caring for your space. You're caring for yourself. And as you clean what you touch every day, you're also cleaning what you think about every day. That cluttered desk? It represents scattered thoughts. That messy bag? It represents chaotic energy. When you clean with intention, you send a message to your brain. I am in control. I am creating clarity. Do this every week. Make it a ritual. Make it sacred. And watch how your mind becomes sharper, clearer, more focused. Chapter 8. The Morning Reset. The simple explanation. How you start shapes your day. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, scroll through news, read messages, your mind fills with other people's thoughts, with problems, with noise. Before you've even gotten out of bed, your mental space is already crowded. But if you start your day with intention, with a simple ritual that clears your mind, everything changes. The samurai understood this. They never started their day reactively. They started it intentionally. Before facing the world, they would create space in their mind. Through simple rituals. Through intentional actions. Through moments of clarity. This wasn't about spending hours in meditation. It was about spending a few minutes establishing the right foundation. Think of it like this. If you build a house on shaky ground, the whole house is unstable. But if you build on solid ground, the house stands strong. Your day works the same way. Start with chaos, and chaos follows. Start with clarity, and clarity follows. The story, Before the Sun. There was a samurai named Hayato who was known for his consistent calm. Even in the midst of battle, even when surrounded by chaos, he remained centered. People would ask him, "How do you stay so calm?" His answer was simple: "I win the morning." Every single day, Hayato would wake before sunrise. While others slept, he would perform 3 simple actions. First, he would wash his face and hands very slowly, feeling the cold water, being fully present. Second, he would sit in silence for 5 minutes, just breathing, just being. Third, he would clean one small area of his room, making it perfect. These 3 actions took maybe 15 minutes total, but they set the foundation for his entire day. When I start with intention, he explained, my whole day follows with intention. When I start with clarity, my whole day has clarity. The morning is where I clean my mind, so the rest of the day stays clean. The practice, the 3-step morning. Before you check your phone, before you do anything else, do these 3 things. Step 1. Mindful washing, 2 minutes. Go to the sink. Turn on cold water. Wash your face and hands very slowly. Feel every sensation. Be fully present. Step 2. Silent sitting, 5 minutes. Sit somewhere comfortable. Close your eyes or keep them soft. Breathe naturally. Just be, without doing. Step 3. One small cleaning, 3 minutes. Make your bed, or wipe your desk, or organize one small area. Do it with full attention. Total time, 10 minutes. These 10 minutes create the foundation. They tell your mind, today we start with clarity. Today we are intentional. Everything that follows becomes easier, clearer, more peaceful. Win the morning, and you win the day. Chapter 9. Transform through small actions. The simple explanation. Tiny habits create big change. Most people think they need big, dramatic changes to transform their life. They think they need to meditate for an hour, completely reorganize their house, or make radical changes all at once. But this approach usually fails. Why? Because it's overwhelming. Because it's not sustainable. Because life gets in the way. The samurai understood something different. Transformation doesn't come from big dramatic actions. It comes from small, consistent actions repeated over time. A single drop of water doesn't seem like much. But if you drip water on a stone every day for years, eventually it wears through the stone. Not because the drop is powerful, but because it's consistent. Your mind works the same way. One day of cleaning your mental space doesn't transform you. But if you clean your mental space a little bit every single day, for months, for years, you become a different person. Not through force. Through gentle, consistent care. This is the secret the samurai knew. Small actions, done with intention, repeated over time, create profound change. The story, the grain of rice. There's an old samurai teaching story about a grain of rice. A young warrior came to his master and said, "I want to become great. What should I do?" The master handed him a single grain of rice. "Take care of this." The young warrior was confused. "That's it? Just one grain of rice. Just one grain. Keep it safe. Keep it clean. Pay attention to it every day." The young warrior thought this was silly, but he did it. Every day, he would look at his grain of rice. Make sure it was clean. Make sure it was safe. After a month, he returned to his master. "I've done what you asked. What's next?" The master smiled. "Did you notice anything?" "Well, caring for that one grain of rice taught me to pay attention, to be consistent, to value small things." Exactly. Greatness doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from caring for small things consistently. If you can't take care of one grain of rice, how will you take care of a kingdom? The young warrior understood. He began applying this lesson to everything. One small practice, done well, every day, and over time he became great. Not through one big achievement, but through 1,000 small, consistent actions. The practice, choose one thing. Don't try to do all the practices in this book at once. Choose one. Just one. Maybe it's the morning desk wipe, the 1-breath pause, the 5-minute silence, the Sunday cleaning, the 1-thought journal. Choose the one that speaks to you most. Do it every day for 30 days. Don't judge yourself if you miss a day. Just start again the next day. Don't worry about perfection. Just aim for consistency. After 30 days, this practice will become natural, part of your life, part of who you are. Then, if you want, you can add another practice, but only after the first one is solid. This is how transformation happens. Not all at once, but one small, consistent action at a time, like a grain of rice, like a drop of water. Small, but powerful through consistency. Chapter 10. Remember, you are the sky. The simple explanation. Your true nature never changes. We've covered 9 practices. 9 ways to clean your mind. But before we finish, I want to remind you of the most important truth, the one we started with. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. Your mind doesn't stay clean because you're not trying hard enough. Your mind gets dusty because that's what minds do. Just like rooms get dusty. Just like dishes get dirty. This is natural. The practices in this book are not about fixing yourself. They are about caring for yourself. About tending to your mental space with the same gentle attention you'd tend to a garden. And at the core of all these practices is one essential truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. No matter how many dark clouds pass through, no matter how many storms appear, the sky remains clean. Always. Forever. Your true nature, the awareness that watches all your thoughts and feelings, is like the sky. Clear. Vast. Unchanging. The practices help you remember this. They clear away the dust so you can see your true nature again. The story. Returning to the beginning. Remember Takwon, the samurai monk from our first chapter? Years after teaching the young samurai about clouds and sky, an old student came to visit him. Master, the student said, I've practiced everything you taught. I sweep my mind every morning. I watch my thoughts. I create space. And it helps. But sometimes I still feel overwhelmed. Sometimes the clouds are so thick I forget the sky is there. What do I do then? Takwon looked at him with kind eyes. What do you do when night falls and you cannot see the sky? I wait for morning. No, Takwon said gently. You remember that the sky is still there. The darkness doesn't make the sky disappear. You just can't see it for a moment. He paused, then continued. The same is true for your mind. Sometimes the clouds will be so thick you forget you are the sky. This is okay. This is human. In those moments, you don't need to fight. You just need to remember. Remember what? That you are the sky. That clouds are temporary. That this too shall pass. And then, you do one simple practice. Just one. Wash your hands. Take one breath. Write one thought. Clean one small space. These actions are not magic, but they remind you. They bring you back to yourself. Back to the sky. The student bowed deeply. He finally understood. The practices weren't about becoming something new. They were about remembering what he always was. The practice, the daily reminder. Here's your final practice, the one that ties everything together. Every morning, say these words to yourself. I am the sky. Thoughts are clouds. Clouds pass. The sky remains. That's it. Just this reminder. Say it when you wake up. Say it when you feel overwhelmed. Say it when you forget who you are. You can even write it on a note and put it somewhere you'll see it every day. On your mirror. On your desk. On your phone background. These simple words reconnect you to the truth. They remind you that no matter what's happening in your mind, no matter what clouds are passing through, your true nature remains unchanged. You are the sky, and the sky is always clean, bringing it all together. You've learned 10 practices. Morning cleaning ritual, sweeping the mental steps. Water ritual, stop stirring the mud. One breath pause, create space before reacting. Clear physical space, clean mind. One thought journal, release instead of hold. 5 minutes of silence, sacred silence reveals truth. Weekly deep clean Osoji, the preparation ritual. Morning reset, win the morning, win the day. One consistent habit, small actions, big change. Daily reminder, remember you are the sky. You don't need to do all of these. Choose one or two that resonate with you. Do them consistently. Let them become part of your life. Because here's the truth, your mind doesn't need fixing. It needs gentle, daily care. Just like a room doesn't stay clean by accident, your mind doesn't stay clear by accident. It needs simple rituals, regular attention, consistent care, not through force, not through pressure, not through perfection, but through the quiet recognition that you are human, that thoughts will come, that emotions will rise, and that you deserve a mind that feels spacious and peaceful. The samurai knew this 400 years ago, and it's still true today. So starting now, today, this moment, choose one practice. Just one. And begin. Clean your mind not by forcing thoughts away, but by creating space for them to pass through. Remember, you are not the clouds. You are the sky, and the sky is always, always clean. If this helped you, write in your journal today, I am the sky, and begin your practice. One small action, one moment of care. That's where peace begins.